Good morning, brush monkeys. We are back, and this week we're continuing our painting of the Reaper Sophies with Innkeeper Sophie here. You can see we've already got her skin and wings done, per usual. Got her hair done too. So since that's the same among all the Sophies, as you know, that's how we're doing. We just went ahead and did all those all at once back a couple weeks ago. So now we're doing Innkeeper Sophie. Her dress is going to be Dark Reaper. Her apron is going to be Stormy Seas. It's kind of a nice greenish blue color. I think it's going to look really nice against those wings. We've got color set aside for the mugs and the tray and the food she's got on top of there and all the little accoutrements on her dress. And the base is wooden planks are done with cocktail stirrers, like coffee stirrers, cut glued onto the base and then cut down. And you can see I kind of followed the edges so they wouldn't be real sharp or splintery. And then probably be a black base band. But those are going to be dark wood stained with the Reaper, or Army Painter Speed Paints, excuse me. I have no idea what I'm talking about today. So anyway, yeah, that's how that's going to go. So we're going to go ahead and get started on that. And I will see you in a bit. Bye. Alright, so we got her base and her dress and her wrist wraps painted. I'm going to do her overdress next. All of that was done, by the way, in Incubi Darkness. And then I will do the dress in the overdress in Dark Reaper. And then her apron and her head wrap there are going to be in Stormy Seas, which was a sample paint that I got from Reaper. You can't really see it real well, but that's what I pulled the label off of it. All of that then is going to get a dark tone wash over the top of it, so it's all going to be washed, and then we'll layer it in the same colors, same base colors, just to bring that out. So I'm going to go ahead and do the underdress now, and then we'll do the overdress, and then we'll do the apron and head wrap, and take a look at it. All right, see you in a bit. Alright, so there's the overdress. I don't know why I can't seem to get this right, that it's the overdress and not an underdress. That's the overdress done. You can see it's still kind of wet, but once that dries, we'll go ahead and do the apron in the Stormy Seas. And you can see already how Incubi Darkness is kind of a dark bluish green, and then this is a slightly lighter bluish green. Then the apron's going to be even a lighter bluish green. So it's all going to be kind of a theme of color there, but it's still going to be separated by tone, which I think is going to look really good. I think instead of the dark tone wash, I'm going to use a blue wash instead, just to kind of make it look, just to kind of tie in that blue just a little bit more. And then, like I said, we'll layer it over with the original base tones again. And I think that's going to look really fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and let this dry, and then we'll do the apron and the head wrap there. And then we'll come back and see how she looks. All right, see you in a bit. Alright, so now we got her apron and her head wrap done, and she's looking pretty good. The dress and everything are still kind of a little bit wet, so I'm going to take a little break and come back to this. Before we put the blue wash on. The wash I'm going to use is Vallejo Game Color Dark Turquoise ink. This was recommended to me by somebody at the local game store as a replacement for Drakenhof Nightshade and for Vallejo's own dark blue ink from their previous Game Color line. So this is the new Game Color Dark Turquoise. And so I'm kind of curious to see how that works out, because turquoise to me seems like a really light or bright blue and doesn't seem like it would work real well for this color, for the shade wash that I want. But looking at it in the bottle, it looks pretty dark. So we'll give it a shot, see how it works. So I'm going to go ahead and let that there, and we'll come back and after I've shade washed it and see how she looks. All right, see you in a bit. Okay, I've got the underdress, the overdress, and the apron all highlighted, layered back up with the same colors, and they're looking pretty good. And I kind of like how that turned out. I also got the mugs and the dishes done here. See, I did the tray in black and steel. I did the plate and the bowl of what I'm guessing is probably like a shepherd's pie in dark gray, or kind of a light gray, but I went over. It's Miskatonic gray. It's kind of a dark purplish or light purplish gray. And then I went over that with a dark tone wash. Kind of darkened it down a little bit. And then what I originally took for a piece of meat is actually like a little piece of cheese with a knife stuck in it. So I did the knife handle. And then the mugs I did, I put ice yellow in the Vallejo ice yellow on the top to kind of represent that beer foam. And I'll probably put a little bit, because of the angle she's got these mugs held at, I'm probably going to put a little bit on the floor when I get it done. I'll do the dark tone wash and I'll put a couple little drops of that ice yellow on the thing to represent beer foam spilling out of the mugs. But yeah, so next I'm going to do the, because shepherd's pie is usually topped with whipped mashed potatoes, I'm going to do those with ivory paint. The bread I'm going to do with uniform brown, and then I'm going to do some little accents with Steel Legion drab to kind of give that, like, not really char marks, but you know how crust marks on the bread. And then the cheese is going to be Palomino Gold here. And so I think that's going to turn out really well. So it's just coming along. So I'm going to go ahead and go do the food, and then we'll come back and see how that looks. See you in a bit. Bye. Alright, so I'm back, and the food is looking pretty good on the tray there. The bread didn't quite come out the way I thought. Steel Legion drab was a little bit too light. It was a little bit too close to the uniform brown. You can kind of see where I did the uniform brown on it, and then put the Steel Legion drab, and it was actually lighter than what I'd intended. And so I went back and did the crust lines with Reaper Master Series Basic Dirt, which is a nice dark brown. Or kind of medium dark brown. It's not as dark as our muddy soil, but it's dark enough to leave those lines on there like I wanted. And the cheese is looking pretty good. The shepherd's pie just kind of stippled on that ivory, so it'd leave some texture on there and look great. And all told, that looks pretty damn good. I'm really liking it. So up next, we're going to do the floorboards in dark wood, and then dry brush them with Sylvanus bark. And then, like I said, I'm probably going to do a couple little dots of the ice yellow on the bottom to represent or on the floor to represent those drops of beer foam falling out there. But yeah, for the most part, she's coming along really well. So we'll see you in a bit. Alright, so there's the floor with the dark wood stain on it. That's going to take a little while to dry, so I'm going to let that dry for a little bit. In the meantime, I've got some Agrax Earthshade, or some Agrax Earthshade, Seraphim Sepia, and Athonian Camo Shade, excuse me. And then I'm going to dirty up the bottom of her dress and the bottom of her apron and kind of make it look a little lived in there. And then once all those washes dry, we'll come back and finish her up. So, see you in a little bit. Alright, so now I've used those washes to make a couple little stains on her apron and on her dress. Especially along the bottom edges and whatnot. It's going to take a little while for those to dry, so I'm going to go ahead and take a break and let all those stains and the contrast paint and what have you dry. And then we'll come back when those are done and probably take one last look at her before we finish her up. So, she's coming along pretty good. I think she looks pretty good. She looks pretty hard working right there. So I'll see you in a bit. Bye. Alright, so now we got the baseboards all done, and they're looking really good. I like to dry brush across the grain to kind of pick up all that wood grain on there, and I think that looked really good. I think it really picked it up nice. Got some spilled beer there on her base, so all I got left to do is the base band, and then I'm going to call this gal done. So the next time you see her, she'll be completely done. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a bit. Bye. Alright, brush monkeys, there she is, our finished Innkeeper Sophie. I think she looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how she turned out. For being one of the Reaper Bones figures, the original Bones line that doesn't have a whole lot of detail to it, I think she came out pretty nicely. I think she looks pretty good. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Next week I think we're gonna wrap up the series on the Sophies with Dungeoneer Sophie next week. So tune in for that, and I will see you there. Thanks for watching. Bye. Hey Brush Monkeys, Tom from Flying Monkey Studios here. If you like what you see, click like. If you want to be notified when new videos come out, click subscribe. In the meantime, check out my other social medias on Instagram, Facebook, Hive, Tumblr, a couple others. I'm literally everywhere, Flying Monkey Studios. Go check that out. And thanks for watching. And in the meantime, I will see you guys later. Have a good day.